It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Hey, today I want to talk about overreaching OEMs. I got my magic pen in my hand. I'm going to use my ClearTouch interactive board. But folks, here's the reality. When you have an overreaching OEM, well, it can cause you a lot of problems as you go to market, especially if those overreaching OEMs are in the imaging channel. You know, the people that sell and service copy machines and printers. Could you imagine having this, tyrant OEM that's giving you all these rules, and then they themselves run out of things like supplies, as an example? Boy, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it? I don't know if you all had a chance to read Norm McConaughey's article that he put out there on his blog, MPS Toolbox. Let me pull it up. I want to show it to you. I'm not going to redo the article here on this video, but the title of it is HP Just Launched Amplify. Is it a Dear John letter to the industry? So I recommend that if you're in the industry, if you're working maybe with HP as a partner, read the article. Norm put some thoughts together that I thought were very, very interesting. And it kind of leads into what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about overreaching OEMs. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it was about, a couple of weeks ago, I put together a satire video. And basically I was saying I needed another award for my awards roast, and I was looking for the most complicated dealer agreement in the marketplace. I don't know if y'all remember that, and I said, you can define a really complicated agreement, with this acronym that I'd come up with. So let me go ahead and remind everybody about that. Sometimes you got to have a little bit of a rerun to remind everybody. But basically what I was saying is you're going to recognize a really complicated, maybe even an overreaching OEM when this happens. You're going to see an absurd, massive program, largely incoherent, which will cause nearly all of the resellers, all of their partners, to say the F word as they yearn for something better. And basically that acronym spelled, it's spelled amplify as an example. Amplify. An absurd, massive program, largely incoherent, would cause resellers to say the F word as they yearn for something better. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to be honest with you. We got to find something better if we're in that situation, because we can't have overreaching OEMs. So today I got to declare another revolution. Back in 2018, I declared the A4 revolution. Remember that? I was out there screaming about A4, screaming about it. Man, people would say, Ray, you're crazy. OEMs, they'd say, Ray, you're being unrealistic. All the reasons why they couldn't shift to A4 as an example, but I didn't care. I kept fighting that A4 revolution. And today, that's all anybody's talking about. Even those sleepy analysts and those, magazines that we might see in the imaging channel as an example hardly ever touch the subject. Now it's all the talk of the town. So I decided, hey, I got to start another revolution. And the revolution I'm starting today in October of 2020, is the customer engagement revolution. And I'm telling all my dealer friends, all resellers and all channels, don't let your OEMs take away your engagement. That's your customer. It's not theirs. It's yours. And we need to fight against overreaching OEMs. When OEMs come into the marketplace and they think they're going to dictate to those resellers and those dealers out in that marketplace what they're going to do, well, that's overreaching. I mean, think about it, folks. We don't need OEMs building rapport with our customers. We need OEMs building rapport with us, and we'll represent them to our customers. We don't need OEMs, trying to take away satisfaction, trying to take away our satisfaction by running out of things like supplies when they start overreaching to us. We need loyalty from our OEMs, folks. We need loyalty from them. We don't need to be a conduit so they can steal our customers. Emotion. You talk about the customer engagement of emotion. We need dealers with smiling faces. We don't need dealers, screaming the F word all the time because their contracts are ridiculous. We need value from our OEMs. Trust from our OEMs. Trust, folks. We don't need OEMs not trusting us, and we sure as hell don't need to be not trusting them. It's supposed to be a mutual agreement of trust and respect. Performance. We sure as hell don't need OEMs measuring our performance like we're a sales rep. We do that for our own teams. Our OEMs they need to give us what we need when we need it and stay the hell out of our way. Wouldn't that make more sense? Absolutely, folks. And we need advocacy. Where the hell's the advocacy for the dealers when these OEMs start overreaching? Where's the people screaming about it? If it wasn't for Norm writing that article and Ray doing a video every now and then, you'd think everything was just perfect out there. Folks, just because there's a pandemic, wake the hell up. These organizations that are supposed to be built to protect and serve the dealer worlds, regardless of what channel you're in, you got to start fighting for those resellers. Those independent companies trying to make a living through a damn global pandemic. We don't need OEMs getting in our way, our livelihood, taking food off our table because they're just nuts. Ladies and gentlemen, do we really want OEMs spying on us, looking in our windows, looking over our contracts, calling up our customers? No, we don't want that. Not at all. So, I got to ask everybody. Well, I'm going to tell you, I got a trick here for you folks. You know, you can tell when an OEM's falling apart. I mean, you can tell it. So I put together another acronym because you got to stay away from these people. When they start falling apart, you want to run because they'll probably end up being like overreaching. So basically, here's what happens. You're going to see an OEM, and they're going to start having problems getting resellers excited to engage in their delusion. They're going to start having problems getting resellers excited, engaging in delusion. And then the OEMs, they get panicked when this happens. You know, I think I just came up with that. Here's the other acronym. So we'll say that's going to be, what is that? HP greed. HP greed. Having problems getting resellers excited, engaging in delusion. So when you run into that scenario, run from that OEM. Regardless who the OEM is. If that OEM is having problems, you know, they're going to start figuring out, oh, well, I can't get them to engage in our delusion, so we got to figure out how maybe we can go direct, maybe we can go without them. Don't think they're not thinking this, folks. They are. We got to stop that nonsense. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, these are tough times we're in. We're in a global pandemic. Things are changing rapidly. And when you get into a mess, when you get into an OEM that's maybe overreaching, it's giving you a hard time, and then on top of that, they run out of things like supplies, you have options. There's options out there, folks. And so I think there's another acronym that needs to come to the play here. So here's the solution for those problematic OEMs. Well, folks, here's the deal. Let me get my pen working. The simple thing to do is you got to create alliances and leave losers, collaborate with leading organizations that bring value, engagement, and most of all, respect you. They don't spy on you. So when you find an OEM that's giving you trouble, especially, you know, they're giving you all this trouble, they run out of things like supplies, you want to create an alliance, you want to leave the losers, you want to collaborate with leading organizations who value engagement and they respect you, they don't spy on you, and that acronym is, let's figure this out together, folks, it says, well, call Clover. Call Clover would be the acronym. So ladies and gentlemen, here's the reality. We don't need to deal with OEMs, you know, that are overreaching. We need to put pressure on them. We need to get our groups together. And we need to go as a unified front and say, knock off the nonsense. Because you know what? Dealers and resellers have options, just like customers do. And these overreaching OEMs, they're going to find themselves, well, in isolation if they don't wake up to the realities in the marketplace. My friends, I'm going to end this the way I always do. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all on Monday.